I'm Rebecca Wilhelm.
And I'm Mary Quigley.
Welcome to the Hoosier Myths and Legends podcast, where we explore the strange, the mysterious, and the haunted history of the Hoosier State.
When you think of Indiana, you might picture cornfields, basketball, the Indianapolis 500, or famous names like John Mellencamp and Michael Jackson.
But Indiana is more than what first comes to mind. Beneath the surface lies a rich history filled with ghost stories, forgotten legends, and tales that have been passed down for generations.
From all 92 counties of Indiana, Becky and I are uncovering the folklore, mysteries, and chilling stories that make Indiana unique.
If you love tall tales, haunted places, and things that go bump in the night, then this is the podcast for you. So lock your doors, grab a cup of coffee, and get comfortable because we have a story for you.
Today we're heading to what I think is probably one of the most well-known haunted locations in the Hoosier State, Evansville, Indiana's Willard Library.
Built in the late 1800s, the Willard Library is known not just for its history, but for its resident spirit, the Gray Lady. Over the years, staff and visitors have reported everything from moving objects to full-bodied apparitions. What makes this location unique is how consistent the experiences have been for decades. Some people believe that the spirit is tied to the Carpenter family, while others think the land itself might be haunted. Either way, this library has earned its reputation as one of Indiana's most active paranormal hotspots. So, Mary, this is a story I have been fascinated with for a while now.
Yes, me too.
And, back when I was a student at Vincennes, we didn't go in the library, but friends and I, we actually drove past the library, just too chicken to go inside. And the library has ghost cams set up that you can log in and see if you can find or see anything. And I got to admit this, I like to take a look every now and then to see if I can catch something, but I never have, though.
I haven't looked at the cameras yet.
All right. Well, Mary, as our Aunt Booch used to say, let's get this show on the road.
Okay, so let's start with the history, because this place isn't just haunted, it's historic. Construction began in 1870, and the library officially opened in 1885.
So it's actually listed on the National Register of Historic Places, which already tells you this isn't just some random building.
Right? This is a place that's been part of the community for well over a century, which means generations of people have passed through it.
And when you think about that, everything that's happened there makes sense why people believe that there could still be something, lingering.
The first recorded sighting happened in 1937 when a custodian was working alone in the basement late at night. He sees a woman, not a shadow, not something vague, but a full figure standing there.
Now, he assumes that she's a real person at first. So he looks away for a minute, and then when he looks back, she's gone. And the fact that he saw her multiple times is what really makes this stand out for me.
Yes, and it scared him enough that he eventually quit his job.
So naturally, after this sighting, people started asking, who is the Gray Lady?
The most common theory is that the Gray Lady is Louise Carpenter, the daughter of Willard Carpenter.
Now, she wasn't happy with how her father handled his estate.
No, she actually sued the library, claiming he wasn't of sound mind when he left most of his fortune to it.
So after she lost the case, some believe she remained tied to the building.
What makes this haunting so interesting is how consistent the experiences are.
So the gray lady, she's not described as being violent or being aggressive. She's just there. She's just present. And people report feeling physical contact, like maybe there's a tap on their shoulder or like something has brushed past them. Or, Mary, this is the creepiest thing to me. People have reported feeling somebody blowing on their neck or lifting their hair.
But one of the creepiest details is that people don't just see her, they smell her.
Like she has body odor or like perfume.
Yes, perfume. It's floral and old-fashioned, sometimes described as lilac.
Ooh, that's a very specific detail, because smell is something that's kind of hard to explain away.
Exactly. And in some cases, that's the only sign she's there.
Okay, so Mary, we got to start talking about what people describe as the Gray Lady's pranks.
Like the chandelier incident, where every bulb was found slightly unscrewed.
Which makes no sense because that's not something that just happens over time.
And then there's the chair story, which is one of the most repeated ones.
So there's a librarian who's closing up in the end of the night. She pushes all of the chairs in and walks away. And she looks back. There is one chair that's been pulled out. So she pushes it back in, walks away, turns back.
And it's moved again?
Yes. And at that point, you're not questioning it anymore. You know.
Okay, we're going to take a quick break. But when we come back, things get even more active inside the library.
Including full apparitions, voices, and the moments staff couldn't explain.
Before we get back to the episode, we wanted to tell you about something new we're putting together for our listeners.
It's an online book club focused on Indiana authors, Indiana-related books, local history, folklore, mysteries, and of course, stories with a Hoosier connection.
The book club will live in a Facebook group, so you can join from anywhere, read along at your own pace, and be part of the conversation when a book catches your interest.
Some months might feature local history, some might feature fiction, some might lean spooky, strange, or legendary, but the heart of it will always be Indiana stories and the people who tell them.
So if that sounds like something you'd enjoy, we'd love to have you join us.
You can find the link in our show notes or watch our Facebook page for more details as we get the group started.
Come read with us, talk books with us, and help us celebrate Indiana authors and Indiana stories.
Now, let's get back to the episode.
So before the break, we were talking about objects moving on their own.
And now we're getting into the experiences that are a little harder to explain away.
Books are a big part of this haunting, which honestly feels very fitting for a library.
There are multiple reports of books that are falling off the shelves without explanation. And there was one librarian who said that while she was shelving books, every third book was pulled out behind her, which feels intentional, like something was actively interacting with her.
The children's department, especially the story pit, is considered one of the most active areas.
There are multiple stories of kids reacting to something before being told anything about the haunting, and one child refused to go near a certain area because he said there was a ghost there.
At one point, the director decided they weren't going to talk about the ghost anymore.
Which that feels like tempting fate.
Right? And almost immediately after that decision, a book flew off a shelf.
All right, so if something like that happened to me, I would consider that a message received.
There are also reports of people hearing voices, like someone quietly saying hello, even when no one else is there.
Now, one of the simpler but creepier stories involves a staff member in a locked bathroom, and while she's inside, this faucet turns on by itself. And this was before there was motion sensors on faucets.
There are also reports of unexplained sounds like footsteps, crashes, things moving, and even a voicemail that came from inside the building at 1 a.m., which might be the creepiest detail yet.
In the newer section of the library, staff members have reported hearing a woman crying. Now, this has been 2 different employees at different times that have heard this. It's all happening in the same area, a restroom.
And when they entered, the sound stopped.
And then there are the ghost cams that I mentioned at the beginning of the show. These were installed in 1999, and they are still running 24/7.
People actually watch them hoping to catch something, and sometimes they do.
Yes, and as I admitted before, I am one of those people. I like to occasionally look at the cams.
I need to check them out as well.
So it may not just be this gray lady lurking there. There are reports of a man named Frank and a little boy named Billy, which makes us feel less like one ghost and more like something tied to the location.
Even Ed and Lorraine Warren investigated here. Lorraine reportedly described seeing a woman standing in water when she went into a trance, which connects to the Great Flood of 1937, the same year as the first sighting.
And there's one detail that might be the most unsettling. There are reports that the presence didn't stay in the library. It followed someone home. A librarian believed that the gray lady followed her during renovations.
And what stands out about this case is how consistent everything is.
Yes, and to me, these aren't just isolated stories. They're repeated, they're personal, they're similar across different people, which makes it feel a lot harder to dismiss.
So, is the Gray Lady the spirit of Louise Carpenter, a victim of the 1937 flood, or something tied to the land itself?
Whatever it is, it's still there.
Have you ever had an experience at the Willard Library? Are you familiar with the ghosts there? We would love to hear about it. Please send us an email to HoosierMythsAndLegends@gmail.com or reach out to us on social media. We may use it in a later episode. In the email, let us know if you wish to remain anonymous.
To see our source material, please visit our website, HoosierMythsAndLegends.com. You can find us and follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. Hoosier Myths and Legends is a Quigley Productions podcast.
Our theme song was written and recorded by Wet Blanket. The song title is Taxidermy Race Car.
And as always, stay spooky.